Yo, yo, you know what it is. Welcome back to another episode of Eyekon TV, and today is a very special day. I got my good buddy here, Sour Apple,
Yes,
Big
sir.
Chris. Before we start, this fool looks straight at this. Shout out to my sponsors. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors. Shout out to Cookies and Vibes.
Shout out Cookies and Vibes.
Your event that you just held was powered by Cookies and Vibes. So needless to say, I'm not going to give you all kinds of Cookies and Vibes shit because you just got a gang.
Definitely. Shout out Cookies. Shout out Vibes.
They gave you a gang of papers too?
Gang of papers. I threw in the gift bags.
Oh, yeah. Did they give you some glasses?
They did not give me glasses.
There you go. Some Vibes glasses. Vibe out. Shout out to Vibes and Cookies. Make sure you guys check the link in the description. Along with the coupon code. Discount code? Coupon? I wonder what's the correct verbiage for people not to feel bad.
As far as what?
Coupon or discount code?
I think discount code sounds a little bit more
nice. Coupon sounds, yeah. And of course, shout out to the honey packs. Dang, these don't expire until 2027. That's fire.
Sheesh.
Here you go, little bud.
Shout out the honey pack.
That's crazy. Knock yourself out, kid. And of course, I would give you some Shaka shit, but considering you were with Shaka for quite some time, I think it's safe to say that you have one of everything that I could possibly give you.
Shout out Shaka.
And of course, shout out to Flame Bachi. If you haven't been to Flame Bachi's new location in downtown LA, make sure you check that out. They got a location in Pomona, Jurupa Valley, and Paris. Shout out to Flame Bachi.
I'll be hitting that downtown LA location. Fire.
Downtown LA has the most unique menu. They got all kinds of.
Yeah, shout out Joey.
Shout out to my boy. Well, how's it been going for you? How'd your event go, pal?
Oh, man, the event was stressful. We had to change the location about 3 times in a 12-hour span.
Shout out to Lush.
And but you know, shout out to the vendors that pulled up, man. They still pulled up. We showed out. We had about 200 people there, and shout out to Azul for performing. Shout out to all the brands, man. Uncivil, you know, El Barrio Angelino, Marijuana Co. You know, everybody that was there, man. Rich and Rare, JC for taking the pictures. It was a lot of people that, you know, came together last minute to like help me execute it, man. Because one thing about me is once I promise something to somebody, like I can't really go back on it. So I had a bunch of vendors that had already promised spots and a dope ass event for. So I wasn't gonna just not let it happen, you know.
It ended up being a success with the hiccups.
Yeah, man. And in times like that, in adversity, you kind of see who comes out and who just kind of folds. And luckily I had a lot of people around me that were just playmakers, and we made it happen.
Fire.
Yeah.
We're going to take it all the way back to the beginning, brother. Just because I feel like, have you ever done an interview like this?
Nah. Been asked, but
who else but me, brother? Let's do it. Let's start at the very beginning. Where did you grow up, and what was it like growing up there?
So I grew up in Boyle Heights. People that don't know Boyle Heights, it's next to East LA. And it was like any other hood, man. It was just, you know, getting banged on, fucking people just tagging, like, you know, the homies playing sports. It's just, you know, I walked from Stevenson Middle School to Evergreen Park every day, bro. So I was able to see a lot of stuff, you know, and I would just stay at the park until it was time to get picked up. Then my mom would pick me up and shit, it was go home.
I met you in your high school years playing football when one of your friends' older brothers, one of my good pals, Goon, aka El Moreno, hired me to film a documentary for your guys', or a documentary type style vlog, I guess. I think I did good for back then.
Bro, we were so ahead of our time doing that. Looking back, like that idea of that was tight. I think we were just early.
I think we did good because I bought all kinds of equipment for that.
It was thinking back, like it was crazy we were doing that.
I was on the field with you fools and everything during a real game.
You had the coaches mic'd up. I was like, this is like a Hard Knocks. This shit was crazy.
That's what it was, huh?
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of my fire ass ideas Jack from back in the day. No, I'm just kidding. So that was my first encounter with you. What position did you play? Left out? I don't remember.
So in high school, I was an all league tight end. I was able to get my medal and everything.
What was
Uh,
Deuce?
Deuce was our starting linebacker.
Oh, that's what it was.
So yeah, I was captain of the offense, and then he was captain of the defense.
Pretty fire.
Yeah.
And then at what point did you start making music?
At around that time, I think Deuce and Moreno put me on. You know, they were making music, and that's when I kind of got bit by the bug, bro. And I met everybody. You know, I met Kilo, Joey, Politic, Wish. Shout out to Corner Block Music, man. That was a crazy time too. So dope, and that's what inspired me to even be here. If that didn't happen, meeting you, the campaign, everything, I was just like, damn, like that's when I kind of just fell in love with it. And I was like, I started trying to make music, and then I realized like my passion was helping the people that want to make music because I could still be involved that way. But it took me a while to realize that.
I remember shooting a pretty decent video for you.
Yeah. No, it took me a while to realize that I was passionate about music. I was just going about it the wrong way. I didn't have to be the rapper. And that's what I like to tell a lot of people that watch me. Like, you don't have to be a rapper to be in the industry. You don't have to be an artist to make history or leave your name in the history books. You can definitely be behind the scenes, managing, being a publicist, whatever it is, even being an assistant. You can definitely be a playmaker by not being in the light. And that's what a lot of kids have a misunderstanding where it's like only the people in the light are getting paid, but it's not the case.
Facts.
Yeah.
So at what point, or who was your first client ever, starting with the management / public relations stuff?
Officially, I think it was
Rels?
I think it was Rels.
That's Oh No for those of you that don't know.
I think it was Rels. I didn't have Sour Apple yet when I was managing Ono. I got hired by a label, independent label, 1%. Shout out to Frisco. He helped secure Ono a deal at Def Jam, and during that time, Ono needed a day-to-day manager. So Frisco brought me in, and I was able to, assist with whatever kind of Ono needed, and just bringing in plays that I felt like would fit. We took them almost everywhere. So we were doing that. And then throughout that time, that's when I realized, okay, you know what? I can do this. I don't want to make my own label because having a label is expensive. A lot of people don't understand. You could make a logo and have a name, but it's like if you really want to be a legitimate label, you got to have some money to play with. So for me, the easiest thing was, without having so much capital, was creating a marketing / public relations agency, which is what I did. And I just used my network to kind of assist influencers, artists, podcasts, brands, mom and pop shops, whatever they kind of need. I kind of just use my network and come up with a plan that'll help show results for them.
After Rels and all the success that Oh No had, basically, shout out to that young man anyways.
Yeah, shout out Ono.
And shout out to my boy Infamizi too, the silent partner in Oh No.
Yeah, shout out Infamizi.
Who was your next client after that?
After that, I think I launched Sour Apple, and I started with Azul, a young kid who is from, like around Pico Union area. And
I don't count.
You were my official client when I started Sour Apple. Azul kind of came in when...
Like, I don't fucking count, bro.
No. When I fully launched Sour Apple, Eyekon was my first client because I remember at that time I was like managing officially and like representing Eyekon. But before I started Sour Apple, I had Azul, and Azul was kind of like my trial, right? I was able to see if I was able to do it, and I was. We got on placements on like Lyrical Lemonade and a bunch of major outlets. We were able to put them on, but we got them a lot of article write-ups. I remember we got them a lot of Instagram promotion. We were helping them trying to get interviews. When you're starting off at the point where he was starting off at, it's like you're starting from ground zero. So when you start from ground zero, you kind of have to build slowly before you can get the major outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so but I remember we were making noise, and then after that, I was like, you know what, I could do this. I launched Sour Apple. I called you, and we got it rocking. And at that point, I think that's what really let the industry know, like, oh, he's legit. Like he's representing Eyekon right now. Eyekon's at No Jumper. You were making all kinds of noise, whatever projects you were touching, and then I was just assisting. Whatever you were building, I was like, let me just help you build it, and we'll just keep rocking.
Great time to be alive.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
You're doing some stuff with the food community too when we were all there.
Yeah, yeah. So the food community, we were helping build that podcast. We were helping bring in the guests. But yeah, man, I mean, I was only there because, like I said, you were there, so it was something that I was like, okay, this is what we're building right now. And then yeah, man, it's really just putting in the time, and the people that are building sometimes are a little bit occupied by running whatever they're building, so they might miss a couple things, and it's your job, if you're helping them, to catch those things that they miss and bring them to the table. Make yourself an asset, not a liability. That's kind of my thing with everybody.
How'd you get with Ithaca? Because Ithaca was like, I think you were one of the only people that could take someone to Ithaca
Yeah, among other places,
and
but
LAFC and other cool things
yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's just like I said right now, making myself an asset. For them, whatever they needed, I kind of just helped. With LAFC specifically, shout out to DJ Flick, who does the anthems for LAFC. He was trying to come out with like a Spanish anthem for the soccer team,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time I was managing Ono, so I brought in Ono. We did some records. We were trying some stuff out. The records were fire, but it wasn't quite it. And then he was like, I need a writer, like maybe a Spanish writer. And then I was like, well, I got my boy Bobby. Weeks went by, and then I brought him up again. You got to link with my boy Bobby. And then he was like, all right, bring him. Boom, called Andrew, set up the studio session for Bobby. They linked, and it was a wrap from there. Bobby ended up making a Ciudad de Campeones, and then they ended up putting Aleman on there, Be Real. And yeah, man, after that, I mean, my relationship with them kind of just kept growing, and I kept bringing influencers that I felt would benefit them. And for Ethica, same thing. For them, it was just bringing them, Latino influencers, which is what I specialize in, and just kind of helping their business grow. Because I mean, I'm bringing you influencers, and yes, it's benefiting the influencer, but it's also benefiting your brand because they're gonna wear it, they're gonna post it,
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, man. So it's a win-win for both parties.
Pretty fire. What's been when we were talking a little while ago, you said you flew first class to somewhere. What was that about?
Oh, so when I was managing Ono has a song with Aleman. Aleman had a show going on in Mexico City, and he asked Ono if he would come out and perform that song with him. The venue was 30,000 people, sold out. So we flew down to first class to Mexico City.
That's fire.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been to Mexico City a few times, but never first class.
I love Mexico City, man. I met my grandpa for the first time
Fire.
while I was out there.
That's crazy.
He was from like a small city out there, and then I WhatsApped him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm like he sent me his address, and he was like 30 minutes away." So I put him in an Uber and Ubered him to the hotel. We went to the rooftop, we had a beer, and we met and we just talked, bro. And
whose dad was that? Your mom's or dad's?
My mom's, and he is a famous old school like Mexican band player. So like he has the music book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, damn. And I was trying to explain to him, like, no, a lot of people in my family like don't understand this entertainment and this thing. He's like, I get it. That's how I was. Like, don't worry. Like, so it was cool to get that reassurance from him and meet him, because it's obviously my blood. And then while we're out there, we did a lot of sightseeing. I didn't eat one taco while I was out there. We were eating good. Like, there's nice restaurants out there.
No, absolutely.
I know a lot of people, if you haven't been to Mexico City, I know a lot of things that you see on the internet. It looks like Mexico's like, hood and stuff, but there's actually nice parts in Mexico City. They have malls, Gucci stores, whatever.
No,
like
absolutely.
restaurants. But if you have been, then I mean, you guys know how beautiful it is, and it's
Where'd
like,
you stay? Like at the Sheraton or something right there next to the, what do you call it? The city center? I forget what it's called. Down the street from the Angel.
yeah, we stayed close by there. It wasn't a Sheraton, but it was something like that. It was a nice hotel.
I stayed at the Sheraton, and
Okay.
the time I went, and one of my other buddies stayed at the Hilton. It's fire.
Yeah, and then it was fun, man. It was fun. Going to Alemon's penthouse, smoking with him up there, and just like taking it all in. I was like, man, it was funny because I was working a job at that time. That was a few years ago, and I remember I quit my job to go on this run with Ono, and I don't regret it.
What's another crazy fire experience that you've been through?
Man, there's a lot. I think one of them that comes top of my head right now is when Jimmy invited us to the Fuerza Regida backstage. Yeah, man.
That was fire.
That was probably like one of the coolest days like ever. I was like, damn, we got to meet everybody, and
Cuatro Vientos had Cuatro Vientos had the food back there.
Yeah.
That's when you met him.
No,
That's when you met him.
that's when we've been following each other, but that's when we officially like started our like friendship, because we're both from Boyle Heights, so it was everything just fell into place right there.
Shout out to Eric at Mariscos Cuatro Vientos.
Sold out BMO Stadium, JOP, 22,000 people, and we were the one of the like only few people backstage watching him perform, which is tight.
On stage. Did you go on stage with us? Almost
Yeah.
got burned by the pyrotechnics?
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
What about when JOP's whole ass chain fell off and I just looked at it right there like, damn, I wanted to take it.
Damn, I must have missed that part.
You were right there because it was me and Jimmy standing next to the speaker, and then he moved back to like kind of like where you guys were standing.
Yeah.
Because then I brought my wife to where I was standing. I always got to be in the front, perro.
Yeah, just being in those moments, sometimes I think back like, damn, like this is crazy to even be here, It's crazy to even be recognized and be like.
That's when Chino Pacas wasn't even Chino Pacas yet. He kind of was, but kind of wasn't.
He was becoming it. He was becoming it for sure. Because I remember.
It was super cool too.
Yeah,
I remember. They snatched him away. They just no.
Yeah. But I did get a picture of you guys together, right? You and Juanito and him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was always with that. But yeah, man, that was one of the cool things. There's been a lot, and it's always surreal, It's I feel like I'm a little bit jaded to it sometimes, where I'm like, oh, like it's just industry shit. But when I talk to like my people, like my regular friends that are like aren't in the industry, I don't call them regular because they're not regular, but when they're your
day one friends that are not in the industry,
yeah, and they're hearing these stories, like they get excited and they get pumped up, and I just realize like, man, like we're blessed to be.
Look, I wish my day one homies were like that. They don't give a
yeah. No, but some of my day one's homies are in the industry too. So, but it just, it's a emotion that you kind of have to check sometimes, where it's like, yeah, it's normal, but it's not normal,
Tell me one more fire ass time.
Dang. There's so many. I'm trying to think. When we went to, man, a lot of my memories involve you. When we went to Cure Company's Halloween party.
Who was that for? Chris Brown?
That was Chris Brown, OGZ.
Oh, there was all kinds of people there.
JD. We Working was there. Remember you were chopping it up with We Working?
Oh, Steve LaBelle, the legend.
LaBelle.
Shout out to the legend, man.
Yeah.
East Coast ass fool.
We talking to chop it up with Foreign. Shout out Foreign. Yeah, but that was a cool ass party, man, and a lot of.
You were up there when we were kicking it with JD.
Yeah, and it was tight. I was like, I waited in line like a normal person, and Chino seen me in the line. He was like, "What are you doing, bro?" Like, and he grabbed me and he put me inside, and I was like, "Damn, that's when I kind of realized, like, people fuck with me, like it's a little respect." Chino. Yeah, shout out to Chino, man. Original. Shout out to Cure Company. Even to this point, I'm still taking people over there just for tours and stuff, and
that's fire.
They're good people to be connected with for sure. Shout out Willie.
What's been one of the shout out to Willie. What's been one of the worst experiences you've ever had? If you don't want to say a name, well, you could say the name, but I'll bleep it out. Just because I want to hear who it is too.
One of the worst.
One of your worst experiences in the game. Because these fools are gonna think it's all butterflies and rainbows and treasure and.
Nah. I mean, nothing has been like too crazy. Uh, Trying to think.
Who's the no?
All the clients I've represented have been pretty chill. Like nothing has like came crazy.
Have you met anyone that's kind of like you thought they were gonna be super cool and they weren't? You don't have to say who.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, so you want to say who? Super fire.
Nah. But I have a couple faces. You know, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like when you meet them for the first time, you get excited and pumped up, and then it's just they just kind of give you the cold shoulder and like a yeah, and it's just like damn, like we're in the same room, and this room there's only about 10, 15 people that have access to this room, and if you're in that room, you need to respect the other people that are in that room, and you know, it was just one of those things where I didn't get mine, and I was like, dang. But I try not to take it personal. You know, I'm just like, charges to the game, whatever. Don't get too excited when you're trying to meet people that you've been watching on television for a long time.
Who was it? I'll take it out. I swear to God. Oh, hey, you want to know what? I kind of feel the same way about that individual.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. We had an interaction, very brief, and it was fleeting, like it was like in motion. But I wanted to have a little bit more. Well, you know me, I'm always trying to get to the next person. I'm trying to get a next guest, and he didn't give a fire ass fool.
Yeah.
He got give him his respect.
Well, yeah, but I definitely give him his respect. You know, I thought about another cool memory too when you brought Fluffy and Skid Row, and it was only like 5 of us on the rooftop. You know, or like 6 of us.
Yeah, there was nobody. Just like my padrino, you, me, Fluffy,
and we were just there chopping it up with Fluffy, like
Juan, and like my kid or some shit.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment. I never thought I'd be like so close. So, I mean, you can go to a Fluffy meet and greet and like shake the bro's hand and get a picture, but when you have him there for like hours and you're just chopping it up like a normal human being, it's a different type of feeling.
I'm not gonna lie, you were there for the interview, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Behind the scenes, I'm not gonna say what question. I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna take it out. When I asked Fluffy about, kind of looked at me like.
I remember that.
I thought the tone of the interview was ruined, but we just plowed through it and it just continued like nothing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when I asked that question and he gave me the answer he gave me, I was like, I just fucked up. Very rarely do I feel like I just fucked up, but when I asked him the question I asked him, and he was like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" Like, oh, I'm like, this is documented.
Yeah.
He did not care for that question, but he went through it like a professional. He continued. He did his thing. It's like nothing happened.
No, you both did. That was a cool day too. And you had the taco caterer.
We brought a taco man inside of a loft on Skid Row. And the main issue with that is because he was cooking inside on the grill, you would never know how smoky it gets, but it got smoky. So we had to take off the smoke detector. But I didn't know that when you take down the smoke detector, it starts beeping. So in the Fluffy interview, it had a beep the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Lame.
Mm-hmm.
That was whack.
But still, nonetheless, bro, you brought Fluffy to Skid Row, which was epic.
You brought Jenny 69 out for her first time to the food community interview. Yeah. That was fire.
There's like a lot of little plays that I'm proud of that I made happen. And I was like, yeah. That was definitely one of them.
He said, yeah.
You know. But yeah, man, I mean, those were fun times. Cool memories.
Dang. I didn't know who to expect when I asked you who was the worst interaction. Not worst, but just let down.
Yeah. I'm
not mad at that one though.
Yeah, but
if it was someone lower level, then I would have been like, that was a whatever, right? Yeah. But nah. He has that coming.
Yeah.
He could do whatever he wants. Well, I can't say anything else because then it's a burn.
Yeah. I mean,
but he's cool. He's cool.
when you're that popping, it's like it's kind of like forgivable in a sense, you know, when you're like that popping and you're like at that stature for our culture. But I mean, it is what it is.
It's just different because we've been around so many people that are super cool.
Yeah,
But I get what you're saying. Like when you're in that room, you expect everyone to just be at least kind of cool.
yeah,
Like
especially
you didn't get there by chance. You're there because you could be there. So just be cool.
exactly, bro. Like you have to kind of read the room and analyze it. There's a lot of rooms that I'm in where you can't just walk in here. Like you have to know somebody or you have to have put some kind of work in to be in this room. And at that point, when it's like those type of rooms, I'm like everybody needs to be cool with each other because everybody has some type of value here.
Nah.
That's how I thought it was.
That's a
But
top fool.
yeah,
That's
but
a real top fool.
it is a top fool.
That's a top.
It
That's
is
a
a
higher
top
fool than
fool.
me. That's fire. I'm nobody, right? But that's fire.
Yeah.
Damn. So a lot of people, I've been in, you know me. I just be kicking it in those type of rooms, just looking at everyone, kind of like
Yeah.
whatever, because I don't even want to be there most of the time. But a lot of people speak highly of you these days. It's fucking working out for you, pal.
I mean, why they have no reason to say anything bad, you
I
know?
don't mean that, but I mean they just speak highly of you in general.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it goes back to trying to be an asset. Like I just try to help, bro, any way I can, because it's like, why not? If I have the resources, then I should be able to plug you in. And, you know, obviously I have to make money. I have a kid and I have a business. But I mean, at the end of the day, if it's my friend and like if somebody like Concrete needs something, which he doesn't because he's killing it. But if he did, he call me, boom, I'm gonna make it happen. Yodi's same thing, and like any of my past clients, they can still call me and ask me for anything. And
How do you feel about the weird amount of hate that you see behind the scenes? Not necessarily towards yourself, but just in general. Just
mm,
because I feel like you've been in a lot of unique situations. I don't even mean fools just hating on me per se. I just mean in general. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think yeah, just in general, what do you think?
it's a lot of pride, you know. It's a lot of things. Sometimes people are only seeing it one way, but you know that's I think why I'm also good at my job because I'm able to kind of like defuse ego sometimes and be like, hey, like you know, yes, you are the most poppin', but this isn't this and this and this. Yes, you do have like yes, we are gonna do this, but slam, 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 slam. And I think just being able to kind of talk to people is a big skill. So but I do trip out. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't like each other that are you know working with each other, but they're like it's a trip, and you
Oh,
know
that was great.
we could definitely there's definitely enough money to be made for everybody, but you know people people are gonna make their own decisions.
Dang, right now I wanted to tell the story about I'm taking this out. But I really, really wanted to do that. I'm not going to, of course, but that'd be so fire. Dang, that's tight off. You see, you're privy to a lot of sensitive information.
Yeah, I mean honestly,
Tell me that.
you
Fuck it. I don't even want to go down that road because I don't. It's not. I'm not. It's not messy. We don't do messy over here, but it's fire. The amount, the level that we could go to over here right now. Just let it out, dog. No, I'm just kidding.
no, I mean
Don't. I'm like, dog.
the yeah, I mean I guess it's like a lot of like it's tough to even talk about it, you know, like
Dog.
without even
Pivot.
like
Let's pivot.
yeah, pivot.
What advice would you give the up and coming artist that is trying to that has the vision of himself making it? What advice do you have?
My advice would be to put together a plan. It sounds very boring, sounds very like lame, but seriously, put together a plan. And I'm not talking about, okay, I want to sign to this label. Put together the steps that it takes to get there. And a big piece is having a team. I see this happen a lot where a lot of artists feel like, I don't need that. I can do it myself. It's not to say that you can't do it yourself. You need to focus on the craft, the art. Allow other people to do the business side for you or the PR side for you. You need a team. It might cost, but in the end, it's going to get you where you want to be. Every big artist has a team. Name me one mainstream artist that doesn't have a manager, that doesn't have a publicist. It You're not going to find one. Even the independent artists need a team. Okay, you want to be independent, you don't want to sign to a label, you still need a team. And that's, people might be like, oh, well, it's easy to say, but how do you find? There's people out there that will help you. You need to kind of block out the noise and focus on the people that are supporting you, and build off them. And eventually the managers or, the A&Rs will find you. Don't just, I get a lot of this. Hey, bro, can you manage me? Want to be my manager? Like, that's not the way to DM me. That's not the way to DM anybody. I mean, if you've gotten responses that way, then great. You must be lucky. But most of the time, you need to do your homework. Try an email. Try making a press kit for yourself. Hire someone to make a press kit. They only probably cost you about $100. You're probably spending $100 on weed at the bar, whatever. So, you just got to make those choices. It's not just shooting a music video, going out there and, posting it on YouTube. Like, it's a lot more. It's a lot more. And this is why not everybody makes it.
I'm all like, damn, I need to reassemble a team, dog. This shit's crazy. So I can focus on my craft.
I've always told you that, though.
That's good advice. What does it take to become a popping artist aside from a team? What does it take to become a popping artist in 2025, 2026?
What does it take to become a popping artist in 2025, 2026? I mean, obviously you got to have talent, right? I mean, and there's no set standard to talent where it's like, oh, well, I don't sound like Drake, or I don't sound like Kendrick, or I don't sound like this, so maybe I'm not going to make it. No, I mean, you could still have talent your own way. I think right now it's just content based. It's just, instead of going to shoot one music video, go shoot 10 pieces of TikTok or the same song. We've done this formula with multiple artists and it's worked. Shout out to Ono, shout out to Frisco. They were the ones that kind of put me on to the content. Were showing me like, well, if we do 10 different scenes for one song, then it's going to get more traction than us just shooting one music video. So I think it's just the content right now. Film yourself. If you don't have a camera, if you don't have that, just go take your iPhone and go different scenes and film the same part over and over and just keep posting. Whatever kind of gravitates, that's the kind of one you use. And a lot of artists, managers are using the same formula. It's just, you have to watch these interviews. You have to do your research. I spend a lot of time on Google, a lot of time watching interviews of managers and other people, and I'm always learning. And right now, honestly, there's a lot of good managers. There's a lot of good managers in the game right now. Shout out to Smooth Vega. He's making a lot of noise with his artists. Shout out to what's your boy's name? 8K? Killing it, right? Shout out to Latium. They're killing it. They just got Jenny a deal over there with the Pitbull. There's dope representation out right now. It's just, they have to want you. They have to find you, and the only way to find you is you're making noise. Don't try to rush the process. I mean, I've done it, but I'm telling you, don't rush it. It's there.
Fire.
Yeah.
How much do you know about running ads on Instagram and shit like that? Are you against it? Are you good with it?
Yeah, no, I'm for it. I'm for Google ads. I'm for Facebook ads. I think those help. I think there's a way to use it. I don't think you just go and just put a bulk and, but I think it's trial and error. You have to figure out what works for you. Don't let someone tell you, oh, do it this way. Everybody's profile is different. Your audience might be awake at night. Your audience might be more females, more males. Like, all that matters.
I think I've seen Lil Russell say that he'll post something normal, like organically. He'll just post it, whatever, like normal. And if it does good, then he'll run an ad against it.
Yeah.
He won't run an ad against something that didn't perform well.
Yeah, and I think that's a good method. I think there's a bunch of different methods you could use, right? Like even just posting to see what time gets the best
Reactions
yeah,
or engagement rather.
engagement. But even speaking on the Russell, like what he's doing as far as letting fans invest into like, the royalties.
What do you mean? I'm not too familiar.
So he created a system where you can pretty much be a fan of him and you can buy into the song. So you can own a percentage of that record. And it's crowdfunded. You also can go to his website, I believe, and purchase like don't quote me on all this, right? You can do your own homework, but this is kind of what I got from it. And it's kind of like you can go on his website and buy like exclusive gold card, a silver card, and those cards are good for all the little Russell shows or all of this, and he gives different things. But the most important thing is that he's giving his fans a percentage of the track.
You guys check out eyekononline.com right now, and if you guys want a percentage of these interviews,
Fire. That's the future. Right now, Jay-Z just partnered up with some company in, I think I seen South Korea, and they're doing this. This is the future, allowing the fans to be owners of whatever you're creating. And it's not like you got to give them 20%, right? You're getting 0.003%, whatever the number is. But as a fan, whenever that gets played, you're getting money. Think about that.
that's got to be a mission to deal with the payout.
It's definitely a lot of tech that's involved.
I guess you're right.
A lot of tech, but I mean, the end result of it will put the labels out of business. Facts. Why are you gonna go sign to a label for a check when your fans can just raise the money for you?
How important is a record label at this point?
I think it's important still. I think it's important until there is something like this, like out. But I mean,
I think it's safe to say a label's gonna always give you a bigger advance than you selling a couple of cents to the homies.
yeah, and I tell our artists too that want to be independent, like
Respectfully.
no, definitely, and I always tell artists too that want to be in this game, like if you're not trying to be at a label, I respect the whole independent grind, but if you're not trying to be at a label, then it's gonna be really, really hard for you, right? I mean, these kids that are, let's take it to sports, these kids that are in high school playing high school basketball, they're not just going hard to just be the best college player. They want to go to the NBA. They want to go to the MLB. They want to go to the NFL. So it's the same logic. Once you're there, you're in the big dogs. You have access to what all the big dogs have. So that's kind of, what I tell artists. Like, yeah, don't get psyched out by, oh, I'm gonna get a 360 deal. Oh, it's your leverage, bro. You're gonna get a 360 deal if you don't have any leverage. But if you did great and you have songs that are streaming crazy and you're doing shows and you're doing this, then they're not gonna take that much from you. But people have this image of like, oh, labels just want to own it. Yeah, they do. They're a business, but we all gotta make money.
One thing that always used to trip me out when I used to rap and I used to be around other rappers here and there is the fact that they didn't want to deal and they were anti-establishment and I'm just doing this for the love of the game. And if you're I'm just doing this for the love of the game ass fool, do not ever message me.
You're a sellout. You sign on a label. That was at that time.
That lets me know that you don't think you're gonna make it. Type shit. You know what I'm saying? The most underground fools, Immortal Technique, Sick Jack, etc., have all sold their albums to labels or again have leverage to maneuver or whatever.
A big argument that kids like to make to me is like, what about La Russell? What about Russ? And you're naming me.
Those are super anomalies.
You're naming me two people out of this entire world, right? The billions and billions of people that are here. And artists, I don't know, it's probably a million artists. So out of the million artists, you're naming me two that did it independently. And even Russ, he did get a deal with Columbia at some point to like help. But I mean, nonetheless, it's still, those are artists that Russ was dropping a song every week until he blew up. Every week. If you're doing that, then okay. Then maybe this route we can go down. But if you're not doing that, then okay. And La Russell, he's putting on his own shows in backyards. He's, pumping out merch. He's, bro, if you're doing that, okay, maybe we can go down that route. But a lot of kids want the Russ and La Russell thing, but it's like they're not putting in the Russ or La Russell work.
What's next for you in 2025? You just left the thing you were doing with Shaka. What's next for you?
So right now I just threw an event yesterday. And it went great.
The meetup.
The meetup, yeah. And right now I have a lot of projects on the table. I just kind of want to take my time to figure out
Before
what.
we continue, I just want to let you know I am the host for all the meetups.
Yeah, if you show up.
No.
That's fine. Fuck. But yeah. And just speaking on the meetup, because I know a lot of vendors ended up not showing up to the last location. Not a lot, but a few. I just want to say, it wasn't something that I could control. The venue changes. But what I could tell you guys is that for my next event, I will try to make it up to everyone that was supposed to be a part of this event. I'd like to do good business, and I like to be honest and straightforward about everything, especially when it's my name on the line and my company. So, if you weren't able to attend this event as a vendor or even just as a, attendee, I apologize. And I will make it up to you guys.
I'm not going to lie.
And for everyone that was there, everyone had a blast. So I appreciate all the messages of everyone asking me when I'm going to do the next one.
That's fire. I was going to take Jay Bless.
Shout out Jay Bless, man.
But I went to the first two addresses and you guys weren't there, so I just went home.
Did you guys do this already? The interview with him already?
No.
I was gonna be fire.
That shit's dropped. What's today? Did you
Tuesday.
smoke in here?
No.
How the fuck is there smoke here?
You know, smoke machine?
You didn't blow one puff.
I blew one puff.
Oh, okay. I'm like, where the fuck come from?
That's funny.
What the asking me? Oh, the Jay Bless interview. Damn.
But it's recorded already?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But see, here's the thing. It's gonna get recorded no matter what. What's today? Tuesday?
Yeah.
I can't say yet. I don't want to jinx it. Well, you know what? I'm either gonna record it here, me and Duno and him, or we're gonna record it at RH headquarters.
Where's that?
Rancho.
Oh, that's fire.
That's the goal, to shoot it at
That's
RH
fire.
headquarters.
You and Duno?
Me, Duno, and Jay Bless.
Viral.
Because I told Jay Bless I demand that exclusive. And he was like, Duno beat you to it. And I was like, fool, I was the first person to hit you up. He was like, yeah, but you didn't ask. I was like, because you didn't call me. Long story short is I finally got that little fool on the phone, and yeah, he was gonna come with me to your event. But anyways, I called Duno because he was like, Duno got dibs, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do Duno dirty and just do it anyway. So I called him and I was like, hey, I'm gonna interview this fool. He was like, no, you're not. And I was like, no, we're gonna interview him together. He was like, okay. And I was like, all right. And he was like, where's it going? And I was like, wherever. I'm not going to argue with him about whose channel it's going to go on. It's going to do better on Duno's channel. Let's just be honest. I'm back in the rebuild stage. I built a mansion and I had to leave it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So,
that's fire, bro. I think honestly, Jay Bless is super talented. Like, he can really rap.
He's been gone for 4 years.
Yeah, he could really rap though.
I've known him, not counting those, I don't know, fool. I've known this fool since before my wife, so that's easily a decade.
Sheesh.
Duno had 2,000 followers when me and him met through Jay Bless. I met Duno through Jay Bless. That didn't occur to me till right now.
That's crazy. I remember when you.
Yeah, you were there for one of those times.
I was about to tell you that.
You were there for one of those videos.
Yeah, I remember when you guys were doing those videos like that. Jay Bless was having that run. And then I pulled up on you on one of those videos.
Well, Walter,
Wally.
the Prince of Pico Union.
Yeah, shout out to Wally.
The Prince of Pico. I'm not even gonna get into that. Shout out to Walter, great guy. Damn, you were there like one of the times. I was watching there in the very beginning of Duno's career.
Yeah, no, and I was watching it. I was watching everything. Seeing everybody grow. That's why I like I think I have a lot of respect too, is because I was there, for these last 10 years, and I watched everybody's growth. Some, like, even somebody that stands out to me, like Lechero. We met in the studio.
I remember you talking about Leche.
We met in the studio. I forgot why. It was Dioro studio, and we were just chopping it up. We were playing records or whatever.
What was he giving away? I think you were in the back seat of my car one time. Like, yeah, this fool DJ Lecheto's giving away some crazy shit right now. I don't know. Anyways, carry on. My bad. Go ahead.
Nah, but this was before he was on the radio and stuff. And now to see him at Apple Music with the first Spanish show is growth. Obviously he went to Surreal and did all his things and his growth, but it's just is an example of someone that you see their growth the entire time. Concrete, right? Even his growth of becoming a rapper to, writing your bars to
I roll my damn bars.
just kidding. To becoming a comedian touring the United States and stuff. It's dope to see, man. Duno's growth, your growth. It's dope, man. Joey's growth. I'm just like, wow, like it's inspiring. I'm like waiting for mine.
What's one thing you see in all the people that you just named?
Relentlessness, work ethic, and drive.
Fire.
Yeah, all these people have been put in situations where they could have lost, and they just kept going, and they all make money doing what they want to do, which is, to me, the ultimate win in life. You wake up and do whatever you want to do.
There's some pitfalls to that, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, and people can say the same thing about me, right? I wake up every day and I'm running my own company, but yeah, there is downsides to a lot of things, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's the way you look at things. And a lot of my close friends have been telling me this lately, like, change the way you view things. It's not always negative. It's just how you're viewing it. We're blessed to even be here. I'm blessed to even be here. All the situations you've put me in, all the scenarios we're talking about, like, I'm blessed, man. A lot of people are going to live their lives and die and not be able to have memories like the way we have, and
super ungrateful right here.
Nah, but it's just we're just going through it. That's why I'm like, we feel so jaded, because every day is like this for you or for me or whatever, and you're always meeting celebrities and it's nothing. But in reality, like, yeah, it's big and it's dope. You're gonna be able to tell Cupid all this stuff. I'm gonna be able to tell Santi all this stuff, and Cupid's already witnessing it, But it's dope to be able to.
I'm like, least, Cupid's been to the FX.
Yeah, and the boxing fights.
Little bastard.
I can't wait to, like, at least my son gets to experience a little bit too. It's like,
you want to know what tripped me out? Something that was funny. And that I don't know what's going to happen in Cupid's life, obviously. I'm going to definitely, I don't want to say force him, but I'm going to definitely guide him to the path of being self-employed, whether it's via boxing, music, something of that nature, acting, I don't know what. When he met Ryan Garcia, I was like, hey, that's the champ right there. Whether or not Ryan Garcia is the champ is not the point.
Yeah.
That's one of the most well-known figures in boxing in the world today. Safe to say, right?
Yeah, for me. I mean,
for most people, even if they don't like him, if you see Ryan, oh shit, that's right. He sat where you're sitting, basically at a different table, but right there, literally same distance.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a champ. You want to take a picture with the champ? He was like, he looked at him. He was like, that's a champ. And I was like, yeah, that's a champ. He was like, okay. And I guess I told Ryan whatever I told him, and he walked up, and I was in the moment, so I didn't hear what Ryan told him. But he must have said something like, oh, you're going to box? And he was like, yeah, or whatever. And he was like, oh, man, I'm scared of you. So the whole time we were there, Cupid was saying, Ryan's a scaredy cat.
That's funny.
Oh, dog. That's crazy work. Also, that's a viral clip. If I were to have filmed him saying, Ryan's a scared, that's the champ is scared.
That's funny.
That shit's hilarious. But anyways, so 2025, what are you going to do again?
Just pick and choose what projects to focus on. A lot of things have been coming to the table, but it's just got to make sense right now. I just had my kid about a year and a half ago, so he's growing. It takes a lot of my time. So right now, any time away I spend from him, it's got to make sense.
How has fatherhood affected you?
It's definitely shown me that I need to have better time management. It's definitely given me, that extra drive to be relentless right? Because now it's like we have a kid. Like we're not just doing it for us. So it definitely sparking little things in me. But as far as like a go getter, I've always been that way. It's just now extra pressure that I feel like, okay, you know, kid needs diapers, kids need food, kid need this. Okay, like as long as my son has everything, he's not lacking anything, then I guess I'm doing my job as a father. And you know, I'm just going through it. Still lacking, you know, I'm still not the best, right? But I'm figuring it out. There's no guide to being a dad,
I feel it.
especially when, you know, I was lacking in that department growing up. So it's kind of like,
I can relate.
yeah, so it's like, but I think what we gained from that is knowing what we don't want to be, knowing how not to be. So that's kind of like, okay, like, yeah, just show up, you know, give him shit, like give him love, like it's very pretty easy, like. But yeah, man, I love it, bro. My son's dope. He's starting to figure out little stuff, so it's cool.
If there's anything you could leave the people with before we clock out, my friend, what would it be? Is there anything else you want me to ask you?
Um, um, I don't know. I think we covered everything, right?
Who are your top 5 Latino rappers in California area?
Who are yours?
Peso.
All time?
No, just
Current.
current.
No, okay.
Peso.
Like your favorite, or we're just going off numbers?
No, who I think is tight.
Oh, you think it's tight?
Peso, Rowdy, and I'll give it to Lefty because that's my pal.
Lefty, Rowdy, Peso.
Look,
I mean, those are.
Peso does the most numbers. Rowdy could probably rap the best out of anybody.
You think so? Wow.
I think he could style out. Well, you know what? The Yodis are really good, but
They're on my list.
Rowdy could style out nasty. And Lefty probably has the most character and charisma that's out there
Definitely.
in the world because Peso's a funny little, but he chooses not to be on camera.
He's reserved. He's reserved for
Which
sure.
is so stupid because I think that fool, if he would show his personality a little bit more, he'd be so much further. But that's also him just showing his personal self with me and my family and our homies and our friend group. Like if you have me, Weirdo, Peso, and Duno in a room and you're just a fly on the wall, you're gonna die laughing because we're just horse playing hard. But to the world, it's a little different. You know what I mean? So whatever. But that's just the friends, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay.
Who's your top 5? Let it rip.
Top 5?
If you don't have a 5, that's fine.
No,
I said 3, huh? Because you said 3.
Yeah, Yodis for sure. I mean, this is any order. I'm just saying people that I like, right? The Yodis, I feel like they work really hard. Their videos are tight. They can really rap. I think
Coyotes have the best video production aside from Peso, but Coyotes probably first.
Shout out the Yodis, man. They're fire. I think Snow the Product is super dope. I don't necessarily like play her music every day, but I think whenever I do catch little things or I see things, I'm like, yeah, she's
elite.
Consistently killing the game. Like
she's definitely elite.
Doesn't matter if she's female, whatever. Like just as far as an artist, period, she belongs on the list. I think I like Lefty too. I think Lefty's super dope. I like the charisma he has. I mean, all these guys are dope, man. CNG, super talented.
Another guy that should probably do more interviews.
CNG, super talented. Yeah, he's a little bit more reserved, but I mean, he's super dope. He's been showing me a lot of unreleased music he's got with like a lot of features, and it's fire. I think Cypress Moreno, although he's not a rapper, I think his production is super fire. He doesn't get enough credit.
We did an interview recently, and he has a cough in the interview, like he was sick.
Yeah.
Ruined him.
Oh man. Yeah, but shout out to Cypress. He's consistently killing it. Who else, man? There's a lot of people, that I'm probably leaving now. YBE.
Shout out to my pal.
Super humble. I love the way he carries himself. Super professional. He's got a lot of potential to go further than where he's at right now. Yeah, I think.
Is there anything you want to leave the people with before we clock out, my brother?
Just make sure to follow my agency, man. Sour Apple Agency. My personal Instagram is Chris underscore sour apple. We got a lot of projects coming. Can't really talk about too much, but I mean, I'll be making some announcements soon. Thanks for having me. My first interview was dope.
That's crazy.